What if I told you that fluent English speakers are not smarter than you? They're just paying attention to something most learners completely ignore. Hey, I'm Luke, and in today's video, I want to show you one simple habit that fluent English speakers use every single day without thinking about it. And here's the interesting part. Most students never use it, not because it's difficult, but because nobody ever told them to look for it. Let me explain. When most people learn English, they focus on individual words, one word at a time, one translation at a time. They think, what does this word mean? How do I say this word in English? But fluent speakers don't think like that. They don't think in single words. They think in groups of words, chunks. And once you start noticing those chunks, something changes. English stops feeling slow, your brain stops translating, and speaking becomes lighter. Let me show you what I mean. Imagine you're listening to English, a podcast, a YouTube video, a movie, doesn't matter. Someone says, "I'm going to grab a coffee." If you're a beginner, you probably focus on the word coffee, maybe grab too. But fluent speakers notice something else. They notice that grab plus coffee always show up together. They don't think grab coffee, they think grab a coffee. One idea, one block. And this is where everything starts to change. Because when you speak in blocks, you don't need to build sentences from zero. You're not assembling Lego pieces every time you talk. You're just pulling ready-made pieces from your memory. That's why fluent speakers sound fast, even when they're not speaking fast. Now, here's something important. A lot of students already use these chunks. They just don't notice them. And if you don't notice them, you don't control them. So today, I don't want to teach you a list of expressions. I want to teach you how to notice English differently. Let's slow this down. Every sentence has a center. Usually it's a noun, a thing, something concrete. Coffee, work, family, plans. Now here's the trick fluent speakers use. They don't look only at the noun. They look at the words that live next to it. Let's take coffee again. People don't usually say, do a coffee. Make a coffee depends on context, but very often they say, grab a coffee, have a coffee, get a coffee. Those are not rules, they're habits. English habits. And when you start noticing habits instead of rules, English becomes easier. Now imagine this. You hear someone say, I had to rush to work this morning. If you focus only on work, you miss the point. The real English is rush to work. That's the chunk. And once your brain starts collecting these chunks, something amazing happens. You stop translating. You stop thinking. You just speak, because your brain already knows what comes next. Let me make this very practical. Next time you're listening to English, don't try to understand everything. Just do this. Listen for the noun. Then ask yourself, what words come right before it? That's it. That simple habit will slowly rewire how you learn English. Now here's where most learners stop and fluent speakers continue. Fluent speakers don't just notice chunks, they play with them. Let's go back to grab a coffee. They repeat it, they change it, they move it around. I grab a coffee in the morning. I grabbed a coffee earlier. I'll grab a coffee later. Same chunk, different moment. This is how fluency is built. Not by memorizing, but by reusing. And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to sit down and study for hours. You can do this in real life. 1 minute of listening, 2 or 3 chunks noticed, a few repetitions out loud. That's it. Now, let me be honest with you for a second. There are days when I'm tired. I don't feel like studying. I just want to relax. And on those days, I still notice chunks. Because it doesn't feel like studying, it feels like listening differently. And that's why this habit works so well. It fits real life. Now, I want you to try something the next time you hear English. When you hear a sentence, pause it. Ask yourself, what was the noun? What words came before it? Repeat the whole thing out loud. Not perfectly, just naturally. You'll feel awkward at first, that's normal, but after a while you'll notice something. English will start coming out of your mouth in pieces, not individual words, and that's fluency. Not speed, not accent, but flow. If you remember only one thing from this video, remember this. Fluent speakers don't know more words. They know which words like to stay together. Start noticing that, and English will stop feeling so heavy. And if you want to keep building this skill, slowly, naturally, without pressure, the next video will help you even more.